Welcome back to Cryptos Are Us. I am George. We're all George. So, like I said this morning, don't worry about the dip. So Bitcoin makes a bullish rebound, of course. Not quite back up to 50,000, but pretty close. It may hit it during this stream. So let's talk about what happened with Bitcoin today. And also let's talk about Solana and its whole ecosystem, because there are a lot of dapps, a lot of projects that are surging right now. So let's talk about that as well. All right, let's do this. Welcome, 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 guys. Take a look. Let's start out with Bitcoin as always, 49.5. Not too shabby. We're only 500 points away from hitting that 50,000 mark once again, that we only broke into like 2 days ago, right? So this morning, I told you guys, man, do not fall for the shakeout. Do not fall for the dip, the FUD, okay? Bitcoin is on a roll. It's not going to be stopped. And everything I've been saying about the amplifying effect of the ETFs, the halving event, the rate cuts, and everything else, the growing fundamentals have not changed. They have not changed one bit. So what I stated this morning is still in play. The last two times Bitcoin broke above to our levels, it hit 60,000 in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks. That's still in play. Keep in mind, we're like 50,000. 50 to 60,000 is not that far-fetched. So we will see. But right now, Bitcoin is holding strong, just a little bit below 50,000. Can we break through tomorrow? Of course. We can even break through tonight. So, yeah, it's looking good. So what happened exactly today? All right, well, if you look at the U.S. market, yeah, I think we got hurt a little bit by the U.S. market today. A big dip, minus 524. That's not good. NASDAQ down, right? Worst session since March of 2023. That's like 1 year almost. So obviously some panic selling going on today, okay? And anyone that sold Bitcoin today, unfortunately, they're going to regret it very, very soon. In fact, they may have regretted already, because we're right back to basically 50,000 already. So, you know, as for, and the reason why the market went down today in the U.S. is because CPI inflation came a little bit higher than expected. So these are the next FOMC meetings. We got one in March, May, June, July, and it goes forward, right? So right now in March, it looks like there's only an 8.5% chance of a rate cut. Okay, but in May, that jumps up to 35%. And look at June. It jumps up to 50%, but there also is a 20% chance we would have had 2 cuts, right? So assuming one in May and one in June, right? So it starts going down rapidly. So by the end of 2024, we have a good shot of having almost 1 percentage point cut. And this will be phenomenal for the U.S. economy, for markets. Money is going to start swirling around like crazy once again. It's going to be absolutely awesome. Okay, so even though inflation came up a little bit today, overall, it doesn't really change the percentages all too much. Okay, so there's that. Okay, but again, keep in mind, unlike dollars, and unlike rates that can be adjusted up and down whenever the Fed wants to, and unlike fiat, which can be printed anytime governments want to, Bitcoin cannot. Neither one of those things. You can't just adjust it. You can't adjust inflation rate. You can't just come out with more, right? So that's why the amount of new Bitcoins added to total supply, you see, it's dropping in half every 4 years, right? And this is the 4th year. We will get another halving event in just a couple months, right? This is why Bitcoin is going to go up. Quite simply because supply keeps going down. Inflation is going down. Supply has an overall cap. And you can't manipulate it like everything else in our financial system. Okay, so it's really silly to be panic selling right now. And I like to remind you guys, for those that became really bearish, weren't we just at like 43,000 like 2 weeks ago or a week ago? So you've been falling to 48 today and now back up to 49. Like, where's the panic? We were just at 43 like 2 weeks ago. So it didn't even make any sense. Most of you guys, I'm not saying most of you guys, were panicking. I mean, most of you guys were not. You were just laughing it off, and you were actually DCing more. But, you know, there were a few people this morning that were like, turn all bearish and making all these claims. It's just all nonsense. You got to ignore the FUD, guys. You got to trust your instincts. You got to listen to what I'm saying. And everything I'm saying is super bullish, and nothing has changed just because of one small little dip that came this morning. Here's something else that's fantastic. GBDC outflows are, you could see, decreasing every single day. Okay, and someone's complaining about me kicking my desk. You know, I'm just going to put you in timeout because that is annoying. You complaining, that is annoying. GDP's outflows, as you can see, is diminishing. Okay, we went from 500, 600 million of Bitcoin outflowing, being sold, to now under 100 million. Okay, and that's going to shrink more and more and more and more. So tomorrow we'll get numbers. Today, it'll be quite interesting because I'm hearing some of the funds actually had to sell today. But I'm also hearing that the big funds like BlackRock's and Fidelity, they keep on adding. They don't care. They just keep on adding more, regardless if it's a down day. So it'll be interesting to see what the numbers come out tomorrow about today's trading session. But overall, we know that ETFs are blowing up. Bitcoin spot ETFs, 2 funds surpassed $3 billion within less than a month, as never ever happened before in history with any ETF, and shatters gold's ETF. Okay, so that's how strong Bitcoin is and how much demand there is for Bitcoin. It's just quite simple. So today, just a little bit more. Just today, you know, from a technical standpoint, yeah, we had a breakout, we had a retest. So now what does that mean? Are we going to break out again? Well, if we're going according to pattern, yeah. So Matthew, you got to give him credit. He tweeted this out January 1st, so a month and a half ago. He was saying, well, you know what? Right now, we're looking very similar to 2020 and 2021. It's almost the same pattern. That's what he posted a month and a half ago, and look at what it looks like now, right? It's going according to plan, and it's following the same path as a previous cycle. No different. But we're ahead of the schedule. We are ahead because I talked about this morning. If you look at it, every single cycle we have to break through this 61.8% mark. It's a Fibonacci level. And we have never, ever, ever broken through it before a halving event. Every single cycle prior to this one, it took us all the way until the halving event or afterwards for Bitcoin to break through. And this time around, we already broke through. It has never, ever, ever happened before in Bitcoin's history. So think about that. Why are we moving so quick? It's probably because the ETFs, I've been saying, they're compounding every day. They're amplifying the effects right now. And that's why it would not surprise me if Wall Street picks up tomorrow, we break above 50,000, we could be heading to 52,000. And then after that, 60,000 is right around the corner. Okay, we're not that far off. That's how high we are. I don't know if you guys realize that Bitcoin is already at $50,000. The weight of that is tremendous. I've always said this before. Weight of Bitcoin at 30,000 is a lot. Now, you get to feel the weight of a $50,000 Bitcoin. How many of you guys can actually take out $50,000 from your bank account to go buy one whole coin? Very little, right? So the weight of Bitcoin is growing, and it's going to be a lot heavier as we move forward. So that's the last thing I'll say about Bitcoin. Still looking good. Nothing has changed, and we're going to see some better days coming up. All right, so strap on and get ready. All right, now what about Solana's ecosystem? Obviously, Solana is doing well. Okay, has not really pumped up recently, but still doing very well. In fact, I don't know if you guys noticed, Solana, oh, there we go. Solana just flipped above BNB and is sitting at number 4 right now. There's a big difference between Solana and Tether and Solana and Ethereum, but it's getting closer and closer. So pretty soon, Solana will be right under Ethereum. But today, I didn't want to just talk about Solana, even though it is quite strong. What about everything else that's going on in Solana? Okay, the whole entire ecosystem. You guys know there's so many that are doing quite well, quite well. I mean, as for Solana itself, their TVL is growing. Nowhere close to its previous high, but if you zoom in, you realize, yeah, the TVL is growing, and that's due to many of the projects I'm about to talk about. Yes. I didn't have any blue label tonight. But yeah, obviously we had a lot of airdrops, right? We had Jitto and Jupiter airdropped another meme. I mean, there's just a ton of airdrops going on. And Solana's biggest wallet supporter, Phantom, is growing by leaps and bounds. In fact, I use Phantom as well. And they're actually a terrific wallet. I love the fact that they also support Bitcoin. They support BRC22 on top of everything Solana and on top of everything ERC based. So Phantom is actually doing really well. But because of all the airdrops, they've been growing by leaps and bounds. But again, for those of you guys that want to try a new mobile wallet, not mobile. Actually, no, I take that back. They do have a mobile wallet or a browser wallet. Phantom is the one to try. So they're doing fantastic. Obviously, the biggest wallet maker supporter in Solana's ecosystem. Absolutely fantastic. Solana is also selling a ton of phones because of the airdrops. Because the airdrops are juicy. They're free money. And a lot of people are making a lot of money just by collecting those airdrops. Okay, so that's helping bring more attention to Solana. Also, there's a lot of other things. DePin. Decentralized physical infrastructure. I hate the name DePin because it sounds like it's some kind of pin or a combination or something. No, it's decentralized physical infrastructure, but there's a lot that's out there. Okay, actually, recently a lot of people has been asking about Nosana, and it has been doing very well. It's a cloud computing GPU focused AI play, but they're in the space. But there's also many others like Helium Mobile. They're making a big push right now with their $20 unlimited plan, and I think they just expanded to Mexico. They're in the US, and they may be in Europe already, but this is a big thing. Decentralized network or mobile network for the users, right? That's pretty cool. Real world use, right? So obviously Helium is part of that. They also made partnership with Google Pixel. So now if you buy a Google Pixel phone, you could use the Helium network. And really any phone that supports eSIM can use Helium network too. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, so that's part of DePin. Something else that people have asked me about is Hivemapper, okay, which is they're a project that's trying to create decentralized Google Maps, basically. So you get these cameras in your car, and then you like map out the world, and you get rewarded with honey tokens. So the number of contributors, over 50,000, also part of Solana's DePin ecosystem, right? So that's pretty cool. Real world usage. And of course, you have the newest Oracle, the second biggest out there, Pyth network, which I've talked about a lot. Pyth has been doing really, really well, getting close to $1 billion in market cap. They're like a baby chain link, okay? But they do support a lot of Solana ecosystem projects, and not just Solana, they're multi-chain. A lot of chains do support, or Pyth supports a lot of chains, so but they're also within the space, and they're doing quite well. A lot of you guys are quite fond of Pyth, so and their total value secured, not total value locked, total value secured is skyrocketing as well, close to their previous high formed back in 2021. Okay, so that's fantastic too. And there's a whole bunch of Pyth that is being staked. Not as much as, say, Celestia or Solana or Ethereum, but it's getting up there. It's getting up there. Now, they're outside of DePin and wallets and oracles. Solana does also have games. They do have a lot of games. Here's one that's already in Epic Game Store, and you can earn crypto by playing this game. Well, it's a play to earn game, right? So that's not new, but it is within the Epic Game Store already. And there's so many games right now that are coming out or are already out that are AAA or close to AAA, right? And they're really focused on grabbing users, and they're layering in crypto elements or Web3 elements to them. So there's a lot that's going on. So Solana's not the leader in games, but they definitely do have some good ones. And there's probably more that's coming. And, of course, let's not forget the memes. Solana's leading the memes right now. WIF decided to just blow up because LeBron James wore the same hat. I don't know if it just happened he wanted to wear the hat, or he's supporting WIF. I don't know why, but WIF started climbing up big time. Bonk is still there, right? So those things didn't change. And also Jupiter just did an airdrop recently, right? Jupiter is a DEX aggregate within Solana. And because they wanted to prove that Solana's new tokenization standard works, they launched a new meme coin called Wen, which is also blowing up right now using the new standard. So there's another meme. So you got Bonk, you got WIF, you got Myro, you got Wen, you got all these big memes that are on top of Solana right now that are doing quite well. Quite well indeed. So there's a lot of things going on in Solana's ecosystem. Not just Solana itself. There's a lot of DePin plays. There's a lot of DeFi plays because Jupiter and Jitto are part of them too. You got a lot of meme plays as well. And you got some other plays too, like Pyth. You know, there's just so much. There's so much within the ecosystem. That's why they're doing well. All right. That's what I want to cover today. Let's do some Q&A. Let me see. Let me make sure I didn't miss any super chats. Some big ones. Crypto Creme. Started watching you in mid to late 2022. The turbulence now is nothing. Such better days to come. Can't wait to celebrate incredible few years. Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad you stay strong. I mean, it's just kind of funny, like just a day ago, I was celebrating with Blue Label because we broke 50,000, and this morning, like, you got a lot of like naysayers that came in and started getting all bearish. I'm like, dude, it totally ruined the vibe. We haven't lost anything. But I'm glad you stay strong, and the turbulence these days is a lot more tame for sure than before. It's almost like a cheat. Like we have a cheat code right now. And that is That's the Bitcoin ETFs. It's almost like a cheat code. It's going to keep building and taking more supply out of circulation. OJ, do you think SUI or CE will outperform ADA this cycle? I have a bag full of ADA, but I'm tempted to switch in order to acquire. You know what? Sometimes you just got to do what you feel is right. Sometimes your gut tells you what's right. If you look at overall so far, yeah, I would say they both have outperformed ADA. They didn't surpass its market cap, but their gains have certainly surpassed. And in my opinion, I think that's going to continue. But you do what you think is right. Maybe you don't have to sell all of the ADA. Maybe just a little bit. And then someone else also asked about ADA. Should I dump my Cardano for Immutable, Link, and AVAX? Well, in my opinion, I like those three, Immutable, Link, and AVAX, better than Cardano. So again, but you got to do what's right for you. Jack asking an interesting question. Do you believe in aliens? I do. I just don't believe if any of the reported aliens are actually aliens and UFOs. You know, the galaxy and the universe is so big, I just don't see how anyone can travel any significant distance. I mean, you have to create wormholes and jump through space to get anywhere. If you're just going at light speed, even at light speed, it'll take you forever. Let's see. An exchange will never call you on the phone. Well, that is true. And I don't know why you made that statement. Did someone call you? Or are you mentioning someone? Did someone get hacked? Do I like Ferrari? Yeah, I do. Have I heard of Bob Lucas? Yes. He's a pretty good charter. I know that. I don't follow him particularly, but I have heard of him, and I know a lot of people do really respect his charting. You got hacked? Interior guy, what happened? Did you get fooled? Did someone call you saying they're from an exchange? It's really hard. Donnie says it's really hard to buy crypto in New York. Any advice? Yeah, it's really hard. It's really hard to buy. New York has the strictest license. I mean, if you want to buy low cap altcoins, you got to go overseas, man. I mean, in New York, basically, you can only use Gemini and Coinbase, right? You can't use a lot of other exchanges, so you have to use a foreign exchange, and a lot of them don't have KYC, like TapBit. You know, they're still open to U.S. residents, no KYC, and there's a few others out there. So you just have to experiment or get really used to using DEXs too. They're a little bit more cumbersome, of course, and you know, not everyone has enough liquidity, but you can always use DEXs too. Heath asks, have you ever paid attention to how the halving affects the mining companies, in particular Mara? I would assume it's positive. No, it's actually very negative for them. It's very negative because it becomes twice as difficult for them to make the same amount of money. So they have to spend an enormous amount to beef up their infrastructure. So it's actually hard for them. It's not an easy thing. Tim says, I know privacy coins are taboo right now, but once we're fully crypto, something will have to prevail. Politicians need bribes. Soccer mom needs vibes. I don't particularly agree with you. I think it's going to be a long time before privacy coins are accepted and accepted anywhere. The interior guy, I'm sorry to hear that. I don't know. It's just City Crypto's here. Interior guy, I don't know how they fooled you. Like, what Coinbase said, you know, I need to verify your account. You gotta give me your information. I don't even know like what they would say to fool you. But I'm sorry to hear that. Man, my nose is so itchy tonight. This was a pro. Okay, I mean, explain it. You're keeping us in suspense. I know it's a very bad thing, but maybe you could share your story, so others won't, you know, fall for it. Like, what did they say or do that make you feel like, you know, they were legit, and how did it get around your 2FA and stuff? How do you like those electric scooters? They're okay. They need more power. They're a little bit slow. Maxine does not ask for any KYC. Yeah, that's true. It doesn't, but you need to use a VPN. So, long story, but my fault. Pitt's cock will make Chainlink jealous. What? What are you talking about? Have I driven a Camaro 1LE? I'll be honest, I have never driven any Camaros. Ever. Yeah, never. Switch lanes. Yeah, I'm enjoying a Ferrari. Not white powder though. Crypto debt. Oh, crypto debt. That's too much. I have not driven a new CA yet. I was just looking on cars.com, see if the new Z06s have dropped in price. They have not really. Regular C8s have dropped in price tremendously. You could get a used one in the 60s now. So I think by the summer, if you could get a C8 in the 50s, that would be a bargain. That would be a steal for that car. Would you be okay with holding 100K Beam tokens? I don't know why I would not be okay. Depends on your overall portfolio. If you're saying your whole portfolio is in Beam, maybe that's a bad idea. But if 100K of Beam is only like 5-10% of your portfolio, then it's fine. Chase says, I'm trying to set up an institutional account on Coinbase. Coinbase is telling me there's $1,000 onboarding fee. That may be legit. I've never tried to open an institutional account, so I don't know. Maybe that's required. Why do you need an institutional account? I heard you could open if you want to like move large amounts of money. Circle allows you to open a business account, and you could transfer like $1 million per day or something. And I don't think there's $1,000 sign up fee. Do you think WIF will reach $10 this bull run? No, I do not. Nowhere close to 10. Lesson learned, never take a call, never click on a link, and always transfer from exchange immediately. That sounds about right. And I'm sorry that you had to learn that the wrong way, the hard way. George, after this cycle, are you getting a private jet? Excellent write-off. No, I don't think I'll ever get a jet. I'll probably just like build build a business or something. I don't know. Like you could get some cheap, relatively speaking, okay, cheap private jets, but then the maintenance, the upkeep, the pilots, like every time you take off, you gotta pay fees. It's just not worth it. Like it really isn't, unless you're like an ultra billionaire and you really need to fly around a lot. Just flying first class all around is fine. Or just rent private when you need to. I have not done that yet. I want to try it. But like owning a plane, just like too much. Even for a tax write-off, I don't think it's worth it. What happens when most BTC has been mined and institution have most of it? Is there a market still? Well, at that point, you don't have to worry because Bitcoin will probably be at like $5 or $10 million each. So you just want to grab as many as you can before that happens. It probably will happen, and that's why price will keep on going up because it's going to become so scarce. It's just basically impossible to get any Bitcoin. So that's why you want to make sure you grab as many as you can before that happens. Bought my home 3 years ago, earned only 13%. My crypto will soon top my equity, and by 2025 be more than the whole house. This is the power of crypto. I've been saying that. Crypto goes up and down, and it freaks most people out, but volatility is the price of admission. And if you can stand the volatility, you are setting yourself up for life-changing wealth, or at least financial freedom. That's why I'm so bullish on crypto. I hold everything in crypto, like almost all my net worth in crypto. Like I've learned that there is no faster horse in the race. That's why me personally, people have asked me, like people in my personal life or, family, friends or whatever, like, why don't you get into real estate? Real estate is always a good, good buy, and you can rent it out and, and then roll the equity and stuff. I'm like, you do the math on real estate. Like it takes literally forever for you to make whatever you put down, first of all. And if the home doesn't appreciate, then you're just sitting on an asset that doesn't move and it doesn't even outperform inflation, right? I know a lot of people that got in real estate early, they bought pre-COVID or maybe 10, 20 years ago. They're doing fine because whatever they bought appreciated and they're able to take that money out, the equity out, and go buy more real estate. But if you buy now and that property doesn't go up, you're just locking your money in for 7 to 10 years before recover. When, think about it, in 10 years, Bitcoin will have 2 more halvings. Where will it be then, right? This is the reason why I don't invest in real estate, nor stocks really, because there's just nothing that outperforms crypto. It's not even close. So yeah, that's just me. I don't know why I got so passionate about that. Sometimes I just get too passionate about stuff. Terry guy again. I hope you could track him down. I had someone that was really close in hacking me, but I stopped them before it. But it wasn't that much, anyways. What was your life before crypto? I was in IT, worked 9 to 5, skipped a lot of jobs. I bounced from help desk to system admin to network architect, but I bounced around a lot of jobs. I like jumping jobs like every 2 years, 3 years. You get a big, get a big jump in pay and something different and so forth. But I hated it. I had a lot of debt. I always tried to figure out how to make more money on the side hustles. I've always found new side hustles to supplement my income. So yeah, it was like that. I had credit card debt, you know, bills to pay, mortgage, house, had kids, everything. So I understand what it's like. When you don't have the money, you just don't have the money to invest, right? You just don't, because there's life and you're in your situation. But if you want it enough and you want it to change, you can make it happen. It's just that most people are very comfortable and they don't want to change. Do I like the new Lexus GX? In person, it looks much better than on paper. A scrappy local. All my coworkers start getting FOMO since 50K. Seems like the consensus is to go all in on Bitcoin, Sol, and Bonk. And it's not even a bad idea. I mean, honestly, with those three, it's not a bad idea. It actually would work out. But, like, you know, they had so much time to FOMO in. But, you know, it's never too late. Calvin, big super chat. Research rain on Polygon. It just hit 150,000% gain since launch. Is that a meme coin? Only meme coins have those kind of like numbers. This one. Well, that's not too bad, 15 million. But I don't know anything about it. I don't know. You know, to grow on Polygon, to grow a meme on Polygon is really, really hard. I'll say that. I'm still supporting Kulo. So they're still hovering about 1.5 million market cap. It's just really hard for them to grow. But so it's really impressive that Rain actually grew so much. Well, we'll see. Crypto comedy finance news. Love your name. Let me check out your channel. There's only 30 subscribers. You should get back at it, man. Let's see. Any airdrop tokens ever a good long-term hold? Yeah, the two on Solana, Jupiter and Jitto, they're both holding strong. They're not going to go down. They're legitimate projects. One is liquid staking and one is the DEX aggregator. So they're definitely worth holding on to. And a lot of other coins before. Uniswap was airdropped. I think they're doing just fine. And there's many others that have been airdropped too. I lost 8 subs since being on a Kick site recently. Crypto, you know, on Kick and Twitch, crypto channels just don't do well. You think Link is the most useful coin in top 10? It's debatable. They're definitely one of the most important, but, you know, like Solana is pretty useful. Without Solana, all the projects I talked about today wouldn't exist. You know, like Helium, and then you got a Hivemapper, you got Pyth, you got games, you got memes, Jupiter. You know, they wouldn't exist without Solana either. So, I don't know. Equally as useful, I guess. Yeah, Celestia was airdrop. I mean, there's a lot of airdrops. Thoughts on humans, AI? That I don't have any thoughts. Man, we're so close. We're right back up. So close back up to 50,000. Robert, be honest. Did you send ETH to Ben.eth for PSYOP or Paulie for Pond? No. No, I did not. I don't follow either one of those guys. And I don't even get how people could trust that. Like, how can you, like, without a smart contract, just send ETH to someone thinking that, you know, unless they're like your best friend or something, someone, like, how can you trust that they're going to do what they promise? Did you watch Papagliano's interview with Peter Schiff today? Man, he's annoying. I mean, I don't get why people watch Peter Schiff. There's no convincing him. And you know, I think he's already convinced, but he just can't ever publicly say it because he's going to get attacked for flipping. So he'll never convert. That's his stick, is just to basically be a bear forever. He'll never. So there's no point in trying to debate him. There's 0 point to try to debate him. You can't convince him. So, yeah. So I'm not going to be watching that because I don't want to be annoyed like you were. All right, guys. Let's conclude. Overall, Bitcoin recovering back up. Hopefully none of you guys fell for the FUD drop or the fake out drop from this morning. We're right back to basically where we were, and tomorrow could be a glorious day. We will see. And there's a lot of things going on in Solana's ecosystem. So make sure you stay strong, stay focused, and tune in tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. Woozy, I don't think BlackRock's going to pull Uno and dump. You know why? Because they're making a lot of money from their ETF. And they know they're going to make a lot of money from it. So I don't think so. All right. Take care.